We're back at Gilliam Indoor Stadium for more of our coverage of the SEC Indoor Championships. After 15 of 17 events on the men's side, LSU is now into the lead by 3 points over Arkansas, and then 6 back in third place is Florida. Here's the records for the men's 3,000. This is a 2-section race. This is the first section, mostly made up of athletes who have not run fast enough to qualify to get into the first section. There are 38 athletes listed in this race. And we will show you panels of the participants here. You can score from this section, but it's rather rare that it happens. With 38 athletes running 3,000 meters on an indoor track, you can imagine if the pace is slow and they are very bunched up, that you can really get into some problems.
Well, and that's really the trick here. You've got what we call the unseeded heat with all these competitors in it, and the only way to score, though, Dwight, is to really be brave, get out in front, push the pace. And we certainly have had scores from this heat. You rarely get a winner, but because of the size of this field, very, very difficult to run your best races. We'll see section 2 will only feature 16 athletes, a little bit more space, a little bit more room to move around.
Well, the way that you get scores out of this heat is somebody goes out and runs hard and has a good performance, and then the second section goes tactical.
Or they were seated incorrectly and they ended up in this heat.
All right, so we have this race established now, and we're going to attempt to get some field events in live as they happen. So the women's pole vault is underway. Jill, the team title is on the line.
Julia Fixon from Georgia, just a freshman. Another field event
is next when we come back
for
to
Petros
Texas A&M.
Cipriano. And look at this. This is a huge personal best for Fixon, 14.5 and she was over on her second jump.
Well, there were a half a dozen Georgia coaches sitting right over there in the stands by the pole vault, and when she went over that bar, everybody went absolutely bananas.
Well, for Missouri, that's Kieran Wood, who we saw in the distance medley relay yesterday, running the anchor 1,600-meter leg for the Tigers.
That's Nick Bagadas from Tennessee out front. It's difficult to spot who's in there because it looks like a number of these athletes don't have hip numbers, or they've fallen off.
Yeah, that's unhelpful. And Bagadas is moving out, saying, "I've had enough." That was a nice jog. And several athletes doing the same. Thinking better of continuing. Okay, Gabrielle Schade, number 26, is the leader over Kieran Wood of Missouri. And now they're strung out pretty well, so the pace must be decent. And we've seen at least 2 athletes drop out, so we should be down to about 36 unless there were some scratches that we were not told about. Gabriel Schade decides he's had enough as well, steps away, so Kieran Wood now takes over the leading duties. Another Kentucky athlete drops out on the backstretch. So we're going to break away from this race and give you a look back at the men's long jump, which was contested yesterday.
Well, the SEC always produces some of the best long jump marks in the country. Coming into this competition, there were 3 jumpers over 8 meters. No other conference supported a 26-footer, and for the 3rd place, 26-1, this was Jamari Ward from Missouri. That was on his 6th attempt, 26-1 3/4. He produces the personal best.
Yes.
And for the silver medal this weekend, Laquan Nairn from Arkansas, that was his 3rd attempt, jumped at 26-3 3/4. But the world leader for most of this indoor season was a sophomore from Tennessee, Kerry McLeod, and he waited till the 4th round to pop his best jump ever, 26-10 and a half for a personal record. He's from Jamaica, a transfer from Emporia State, now is at the University of Tennessee.
In the women's long jump, there's been some pretty big shoes to fill for Katora Orji and Giannis David. This was Mercy Abayer, the senior from LSU, down the runway on her 2nd attempt. Really nice jump, 20 feet 11 3/4 from Nigeria. She was 4th in this meet last year, up a place to 3rd. And then Jasmine Moore, the freshman from Georgia, more field events for Kiprianu's crew. This jump moved her from 5th to 2nd. Watch this. Boom. Nice, really old school hang jumping, 21-1 1/4. She was also the 2019 Gatorade National Girls Track and Field Athlete of the Year. The day belonged to Deborah Aqua, the junior from Texas A&M. However, this was her 3rd attempt. Really nice, lower that last penultimate step. Good pop off the board. 21 feet 2 inches that moved her to 2nd in the country. She's from Ghana. She has the national record holder from Ghana. Last year she was 2nd in this meet. Now she is 1st. Deborah Aqua of Texas A&M, Jasmine Moore of Georgia 2nd, and Mercy Abayer of LSU 3rd.
In the men's shot put, it was Joseph Maxwell of Tennessee taking the win. Josh Zapota finishes 3rd, and Connor Bandel of Florida with a 2nd place finish.
So Kieran Wood of Missouri takes the belt in the 1st section of the 3,000. Looking to run right around 8:15. Maybe a little bit slower. And that is a time that probably will not score in the Section 2 final. And he does run 8:15.35 after running the anchor leg on the Tigers distance medley relay yesterday. Tommy McDonough of Auburn was 2nd, and Parker Scott of Ole Miss finishes 3rd. Inside, just a few events left. LSU with a 3-point lead over Arkansas. Arkansas then 6 points ahead of Florida, and then Tennessee trailing at 64. Arkansas needs 13 points or more to clinch the team title in this 3,000 meters. There's Alistair Craig, the collegiate record holder. He went to Arkansas. Cameron Griffith has the meet record. He is in this race. And Luis Grijalva of Northern Arizona has got the fastest time in the country. There he is, finally a senior, Cameron Griffith. Decision to become an Arkansas Razorback, he has decided was a really good one.
I mean, I've loved my entire 4.5 years here. It's been a dream come true pretty much for me. I mean, I even got the tattoo of the Razorback on my leg after getting All-American out indoor a few years ago. And so, like, I really genuinely believe that this was the best thing I could have done for my athletic career. And then all the amazing people I've met along the way, like my coach and all my amazing teammates across the past 4 years have been like, it's been such an awesome experience. And I would absolutely recommend it to any other Australians or even other international students to consider it.
Well, this is a very important event for Arkansas, and they have the personnel certainly to pull it off. But they're looking to score 13 or more points that would give them at least a share of the team title guaranteed or win it outright, regardless of what would happen in the final event of the meet, the 4x400 relay.
Well, 16 competitors start this race, Dwight. 6 of them are Arkansas Razorbacks. So you see how important it is for them to load up this field and get as many points as possible. Cameron Griffith, Emmanuel Chiboson, Carter Pearson, Gilbert Boyd, and Ryan Murphy, all in the white tops.
And none of them are completely fresh. They've all run at least one event here at the SEC Championships. Cameron Griffith earlier in the afternoon was just nipped at the tape for the title in the men's mile by Prodanov of Missouri. So he scored 8th there. He was part of their distance medley relay last night. He ran a qualifier for the mile last night, and now he's coming back in the 3,000 meters for the Razorbacks in his final SEC Indoor Championships of his collegiate career.
Well, and in this field as well, there you see him tucked into 4th position. That's Waleed Suleiman, who came up a little bit short in that men's mile, but did bring Ole Miss a championships in the distance medley relay.
66.6 for the first 400 meters of this 3,000.
Thomas George from Mizzou is up there. He was the runner-up in the 5,000 meters last night. He's in 4th position along the rail.
Actually, Carter Pearson, he did not have a race on his legs, so he is fresh for this 3,000 meters. So many Arkansas athletes that can't keep up with them. There's Rotich of Alabama. So we have this race established. So let's break away for a moment, give you a little bit more field event action. It's the women's high jump. Abigail O'Donohue of LSU, and she didn't let anybody in. First attempt clearances all the way through for the defending champion, runs the turn beautifully, gets her height right on top of the bar. She was 6th at the National Indoor Championships last year. But here's Ellen Elkholm of Kentucky. A first attempt clearance at 6'3 1/4. She hit the bar exactly right, drove it into the platform. It ties the meet record. It's a new Kentucky school record. She is a Swede. Go Sweden. Hey, Jasveria. She wins it over Abigail O'Donohue. That was tough for LSU. She needed those points. But Tyra Gittens ended up 3rd.
And the men's 35-pound weight throw, it was Thomas Mardal of Florida, 75 1 1/4. He is from Norway, and he was 3rd last year at these championships. This year, he's got the win.
All right, back to the 3,000 meters with just over 9 laps remaining. We're going about 8:30 pace, so that's the way that you get scores from section 1, where the winning time was 8:15.
Well, that's Gilbert Boyd up front. He was 6th in the 5K last night.
That's Chiboso of Arkansas up front.
Excuse me.
And Cameron Griffith lurking in the background, as he likes to do. A little boxed right now, but he's so tall, he has to make sure that he has plenty of running room. Things bunching up dangerously so right now as they come around with 8 laps remaining. And you got to think that the pace has got to pick up, because there are guys here that don't have the leg speed of a Waleed Suleiman or Cameron Griffith or Rotich. A pole vault for women is live, and they've got a great competition going. Let's go over there to Jill.
This is Bailey McCorkle, the sophomore from Arkansas, has a clearance of 14.5, which was a personal best. This is her last attempt. And she's got it at 14.7 1/2. That's another personal personal best. This women's vault has been on fire so far. Wow. When you've got a personal best at the bar behind, it just gives you a little bit more momentum. She's got really nice speed, and then look at her top arm when she takes off right underneath her. She needed to just push off on that left arm a little bit more, and that would give her a little bit more height. You got to blow off the top, but that strong left arm will keep that right there, the bar from bobbling, from happening.
But just about the time you think that Arkansas has graduated all their vaulters, this happens. Back to the race with less than 6 laps remaining. And a lot of the athletes that we expect to be there at the end are still biding their time, holding their positions. This is a very slow pace. They're at 8:20 pace for 3,000 meters. And if they run slower than 8:15, that means that Kieran Wood will be the SEC champion from Section 1.
There you see Thomas George from Missouri tucks himself into the lead right there. He looks nice and peppy. Doesn't quite have as much work on those legs as a number of other people in this race.
And then blows by him is Emmanuel Chabosin of Arkansas. He says, okay, I've had enough of this. I'm going to start to move things along. And Waleed Suleiman right there in second place. Cameron Griffith of Arkansas still well back.
And it's really interesting. You talk to distance coaches and you say, well, what's your strategy and how are you going to approach this race? And a lot of guys just a lot of coaches just send their guys out there, and it's all about reaction, and it's very much like a boxing match. You're really not sure what you're going to do till you get hit with it. You can have a strategy. Somebody can slow you down. Somebody can trip you up. Somebody can box you in, and your strategy goes kaput. You need to just get out there and react to some of the movements and some of the moves that are being made on you.
So Chabosin throws in a 64-second lap, and now it's on as they go by with 3 laps remaining, just 600 meters to go. Things have been definitely, the ante has been moved up. Got Seagraves of Texas A&M to take the lead. Now the Arkansas guys are starting to gather and get closer to the front.
Well, that was a nice move by Seagraves. He just didn't go to the front. He went to the front with some veracity, and he tried to put a little distance between him and the field.
Less than 2 laps remaining now, and now here comes Cameron Griffiths. You can see him moving up out in lane 2. Now you've got 4 Arkansas runners in the top 8. Griffith now into second place. Chabosin now third. He spent an awful lot of energy pushing that pace. He may pay the ultimate price. Here we go. We're coming down to the bell lap. Now here comes Griffith. John Bishop of A&M also moving. And Thomas George now making a late move for Missouri. Cameron Griffith, he says, I'm not going to get beaten by somebody coming on behind me this time. Griffith wins it, 10 points for Arkansas. Then Thomas George, it looks like Arkansas maybe got 5th and 6th or 4th and 6th. And if that's the case, that's enough to clinch it for them. We'll have to see the official results. And they are going to just barely finish fast enough to not have Kieran Wood score out of the Section 1.
Well, Cameron Griffith just does such a wonderful job of reeling in the guys in front of him. He knows how to just hold his energy back, but he moves so well on the outside. When he decides to make a move, he covers 6 or 7 places in a single straight, but there you see him just with nice sprint technique and acceleration. I don't think anybody in the field can accelerate quite like that man.